the reckoning.
Are you really so away from me? Do you really don't want me to see? I tried to reach you, but I fell from the sky. I didn't want to, but I needed to try. I'd like to reach your endless mind. That seems so endlessly confined. Unveil the truth that lies
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to East Psych, the home where the reckoning is now going to happen on episode 2. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed last night's episode of Last Voice of Liberty, where we had a dual episode of, well, it was a conversational episode between me and Lee the Mouth Peer, where, well, a point was well proven last night where if our citizens could function like that, maybe our government could function like that, where if our government could function like that, maybe we could have a shot of making America great again ourselves, where maybe we wouldn't depend on our government so much, we wouldn't depend on, well, we could run ourselves a little bit better, so maybe government, organized religion, and anarchy wouldn't have a name for it to such a degree, because we could depend on ourselves and we could rule and have dominion, because that's written in just about, not just the Bible, and just about every religion that's in existence. And if you look at it in its context, who wants to rule us more than God? Who's the real puppet master in power? Who's the prince of this world? God's not prince, it's the devil, prince of darkness. And if you really look at that, that's the church of Satan's technique, and that's just looking at it in this context. However, that's neither here nor there. What this is really focusing on now is not religion, is a relationship with each other. What the focus on last night was how well Lee and I ourselves worked with each other. We don't agree on everything, but he's the network owner, and even though I'm new to, not really new to him, but new to working with him on his network, we proved last night how well two fundamental points of view, different points of view, different walks of life, can communicate, even on different levels. And I hope you all who listened heard, yes, Christians and non-Christians can get along. And by us living and defining and breaking that old narrative that's saying, wait, we can't get along, is the very reason why we have an anti-state, because we're proving that we need leaders that are people that are ruling over us as anti-people, and there's wars starting for no reason. And in just about a few minutes, we're going to have our special guest that I've affectionately referred to this level of this stage as calling Turn the Page. And you're going to find about why in about a few minutes. So when she, I said she for a reason, you'll find out why in just a few. So maybe I'll call her. Maybe I'll just inbox why I say Turn the Page and why I've called her Turn the Page for a reason. Maybe I'll just say C-A-L-L. Maybe she'll hear me, or maybe I'll just text C-A-L-L-P-O-Z smile. Yeah, she'll get that. We'll see what she does. So we'll see what that happens there, and we'll get a call, and we'll find out who this one is, this mystery guest who's never been on any show I've ever done, but we'll know who she is in just a matter of seconds. Never been on any E for Eternity show, any E-Psych, but you just might remember her, and as soon as she calls, I'll introduce her. Don't make me start singing Bob Seger. People will lose interest. I'm not going to start singing Bob Seger. Oh, man. Come on. Alright, well, as she takes her time to get on, I'm gonna just pretty much tell you, yeah, she's gonna help me pretty much let you all know. Well, I'll just introduce her as she's waiting to come on. Paige Roberts is originally, well, she has her own neighboring network called it's a show called The Paige Roberts Show on Intercom Radio Network, available to be listened to on Tuesday, January 17th, 2017, actually. Surprise guest reveals also on 8 p.m. EST, 7 p.m. CST, 6 p.m. MST, 5 p.m. PST, blogtalkradio.com, which was also another network I was on previously when I was with MWO Truth Radio Mass Media, where I was introduced to that network by Auguster when I was previously met Lee when I was working for James Impending Revelation, where I previously worked for Eva Marie Kaczynski, who was a successful radio show host, who also does a show today, right now, actually, Our Reality, who I'm also going to be proud to plug her show right now, Our Reality, and I got the thumbs up from Paige, she's listening, Our Reality, on ISB, Infinite Source Broadcast, and whom another coalition member who was there around that time, Renegade Smith, successful musician and owner of that network. And here's Paige. Man, I love doing this. Yes, turn the page, Roberts. And may I also... Hi, how are you?
Hey, Ian, how are you?
Hi, are you listening?
I am listening. I am here.
Oh, may I also introduce where I also met you originally? May I?
Say what now?
May I also tell where I also originally met you before I met you here?
Yes.
She
please.
also used to work for Carla Davenport, which I can say I am glad
Right.
she's no longer there.
The correct term is used to.
Used to, yes. I also met her through those used tos, where there was 2 times through those used tos, where those used tos are no longer 2s. Because I don't know what's the deal with that guy, but the same person that I talked about, Renegade, who also warned me through those 2s, were those same 2s in which, when she left those 2s, with those same 2s, I said, I'm going to try them one more time. I told Renegade. So the same 2s in which you left, with the same 2s, I said, Renegade, I'm done. So it's so funny how that works out.
It doesn't take much.
Yeah, I guess it no longer takes 3 strikes with some, but yeah, you can only forgive so much. I guess yes, it's so funny because when you are outside, I guess, in certain realms of beliefs, there are those who can't forgive, and there are those when they are to expect to forgive. You're supposed to expect to forgive more. So there's the higher standard, and there's the low standard, and there's the middle standard, in which nobody understands what the standard is. The standard is no standard. There's either 70 times 7, or there's only so much one person can give and do individually. That's why we're not all looking the same. That's why there's white people, black people, Spanish people, and all people that look different. There's one-armed people, people in wheelchairs. That's why I love the Forrest Gump line that the lady that played Forrest Gump's mother said. If we were all intended to look the same, we'd all have braces on our legs. That was perfect.
Right.
That was perfect. It's like, why didn't that just kill racism in that one line? I don't know.
But you know, Ian, that's just like having good days and bad days, and people always ask about the bad days before they will the good days. They
Yeah.
can't have one without the other, you know?
You know, when I used to hear people say, Ian, does 2 wrongs make a right? And I used to get this line from some other snotty kid that always said 2 negatives make a positive, so that's what I used to repeat like a parrot. But you know what also occurred to me? 2 positives also make a negative. So when you talk too nice to people, they don't always get it. So when you walk up to people and say, and you get negative all of a sudden, like what happened with me tonight, after getting irritated so much, because all it took was a little bit of nonsense, and I got mad at my mom. I worked that out with my mom, by the way, that video I shared tonight on Facebook. I worked that out with my mom, but I still haven't quite worked it out with my neighbor. But I'm leaving him alone. He just got irritated with me. But yeah, I worked that out with my mom, though. That got worked out easily, because my mom and I could have worked that out together, but, you know, my neighbor's my neighbor. He is who he is, and I just gotta accept that, too. However,
But yeah, you have to.
but, you know, my mom and I could have worked that out ourselves, but that's just neither here nor there. It's his house. That's just the way it is, and I didn't consider that, but it was just me and my mom had a little spat. It got worse between me and him. He's older, you know, he's older fashioned. And he thinks the way he thinks, and I didn't take that into consideration. I'm like, hey man, you made this worse. I didn't take into consideration, it's his house, even though I'm paying rent. It's his house. It's not a rooms and a building. No, it's an entire house in which I'm sharing an attic to me, and he's got his room, Mom's got his room, but it's still his house. And I'm not thinking right because I'm still upset, and it's getting worse, and I'm not thinking straight. So with that all being said, it only got worse because I didn't think right, and I made it worse my own. So with that all being said, I didn't let it get better myself. So when we're not thinking right, we let things get explosive in our arguments individually, and we all allow ourselves to make a problem bigger, and we're always pointing the finger at the other when we have to take accounts to ourselves. But we can't do that when we're mad. But you see, this is why I even though I don't like Big Pharma for what it does, when you take it for that much long from like a young age like I did, it does become your body chemistry. It's like eating food. It's like drinking water. It does become a part of you eventually, and that's the harsh reality of it all. When sorcery becomes like food, and the GMOs become the food in the body, and this water becomes like the fluoride, it becomes... This is why I think that's so amazing. Why I think that God made the body better than the people that explain it. Because I don't think it all revolves around Darwin. He may have made some statements. I don't think it all revolves around the people that explain the sciences. I don't think it all revolves, because why is it all about them? Because they were important? Okay, so what? They were in their time. But their voices carry through history. But this is where I think we need to carry this forward more. Who made the first chapter in the history book that we can record that not everybody agrees on? But yet, it's still one of the best-selling books ever that we don't give credit to. You see where we can mutually agree? Lee and I can't talk about that, but we can on my show here. So when it's his show, we can disagree. But on my show, we can... You see how this works? Communication is an awesome thing. Different people agree on different levels. This is why this is an awesome level. This is why Last Voice of Liberty can work anywhere, at any time, at any way. You see, when it all, everything, you can't have a middle or an end without a beginning. This is how I think whatever belief system you have, as long as you have a beginning, whatever major beginning can alter and edit your way through. Whether your belief system, I'm just saying for argument's sake. I have friends that believe that God is a computer. I'm just carrying their way through. Just to be honest and be friendly to them, because I respect them. And even if you believe that what Kyler I've heard say is that he believes, I've actually heard him say, just to be friendly and honest and respectful to what he believes. Because you gotta be respectful to people. Regardless if you disagree, you gotta be respectful. Jesus was respectful to the rich man, he let him walk. With all that he had, even after he asked Jesus, what do I have to do to have what you have, eternal life? He said, just sell it all. To him individually, he said, sell it all and follow me. He didn't want to do it. He didn't like Bible thump him or kick him or punch him or chop his ear off like Peter tried to do him now. Because no, he just said, go your own way then. And he said it's easier for a camel to offer his eye to a needle than for a rich man to accept the kingdom of God. So, rich man went his way. Jesus just said, okay, bye. Didn't say it like that, but I'm paraphrasing on modern English. So that's what happened. Nothing else happened. We just didn't see the aftermath of what could have happened. We can speculate, though. However, that's what we can see in our own minds and project in our own thoughts. What do you say about that?
That's probably the kind of agree to disagree, I would think.
Mm-hmm. But that's the best part.
To some extent, you know.
Mm-hmm. But I have friends that actually believe that God is a computer, and this is how it works. Well, whatever. But God made everything. That's my conviction. I believe that God is the book of Genesis to Revelation. Do I believe that God wrote everything and made everything as it is? Yes. Do I believe that God does his word out and preserves his word? Yes. Do I believe that man keeps it and keeps everything in his word as he's supposed to? No. I believe that things have been taken out of the word of God. I believe that. I believe books have been taken out over time because I believe God keeps his word and preserves it. But I believe when it says anything that's been added to or taken away, it's only because that's a warning right there. It says if you do this and confuse people and cause this, it's only because it's going to be written throughout Revelation that people are going to be divided like lambs and goats. People have done that. Well, when books have been taken and things have been found in the Dead Sea Scrolls in Israel, it's only because it's been done that way, and God's just proven his point. It's only happened the way it's been supposed to. So that's the way I rationalize how it's happened. As far as you may say, take it away.
Well, that's true, but then there's always going to be doubters. But I do believe somebody had to create it, and whether somebody wants to believe. I mean, but there are so many people trying to discredit it.
Oh yeah, you're always gonna have that.
Now why discredit it?
Yeah, it's like trying to take some kind of hope away or something. I don't understand why they want to do that though. I mean, there's got to be some kind of motive. I don't want to say it's all for satanic purposes. I don't know what the the direct motive might be for that, but the overall motive together, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure directly there is a satanic motive, but the individual motive to discredit from each and every person, I don't think they know what the motive is. You know how they call them lost sheep? I mean, I don't know. I mean, a person...
The Bible is merely a guide.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not rocket science. That book has been around how long?
I don't know. I wasn't there back then. I don't think you were either.
No, that was a good ways back when. But
I don't think you were back. I don't think my mom was there neither.
The ark.
But yeah. I mean, but overall, but back to the basics of it all. I want to also have your help with tonight, turning this into a complete Bible lesson, because I don't want to lose the complete audience of it all. I want to take this to the directive of what we talked about like yesterday and today, like what motivated the show last night with Liberty, Last Voice of Liberty last night, where I got when Lee and I talked. And then he ended the show with music, which I think with the music he chose was just phenomenal. I mean, the way the show directed at the end, the music he chose. While I listened, I stayed up and listened to the music he picked. He must have stayed up and selected while we were talking. I mean, he does stuff like that, and I could tell. I listened to it. It was gorgeous. I mean, he picked some music that I swore it was gospel just by I could hear the lyrics. I mean, I don't normally, music like that, like some of the country music, I'm not a country music fan, even though I live in the Catskills, and there's Thunder 102 and all. I never listened to that stuff, but I listened to it, and it was gospel, some of the stuff I heard. Because sometimes even when I listen to the metal music, and the metal industry, and the rap music I listen to, sometimes I listen to those songs, and I hear the hearts and the souls of these people, of the music I've listened to, even in the past. I hear the industry of these people, and nobody's praying for them. Because I hear you want to believe that they're crying. Because no, you can't, you don't want to think that nobody is on a spell like that all the time. They're crying sometimes. You gotta believe they're crying. People have, it can't be like that all the time. People's gotta have to cry sometime.
You were listening. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. I've learned that I usually just stuck with one type of genre too, not just. I'm a country music fan usually, but I've learned to take on all different kinds of genres just because of what you and I do. Being on radio, I guess you have to hear all kinds of the different.
Well, I grew up on the 60s music because my mom always was into the hippie music. Then I got into the 80s music because this was the era I grew up in. I was born in 1980, So I grew up on Woodstock music, 80s metal, rap music. When I was growing up, the classic 80s rap wasn't allowed in the house. That was just old-fashioned rules. But when I got older, like in the teens, I was in the rap music, like the stuff I listened to, like reflect on now, and then I reflect on the stuff I wasn't allowed to listen to as a kid. But then I got into the grunge rock and the stuff all throughout life, and then I got into truth music because I'm just getting in still to the truth music because that stuff sends a message, a positive, inspirational message. And then I listen to all the truth rap, like the stuff that Renegade Smith does with the rock music, the facts, and all that. I get into that. I really love what they do at ISB, the musicians they have there. I love all the stuff. I love music that sends a message that helps and heals. But I also love music that I love because, I just love music. Because I can read between the lines of it, even when I couldn't hear it back then. Because all back then I could hear was just music and raw. Now I can clearly hear it. Because back then I just couldn't hear
Right.
nothing.
Well, you probably wasn't listening to the lyrics. You might
Oh
have just
man,
been
my head was
listening to
bopping
the
up and down.
sounds and
I was like a little bobblehead on a shelf, man. That's all I was. That's all, like those little sports things. That's all it was. I didn't even own those things. But the best thing about like being able to clearly hear and understand people is how well you clearly understand music. Because if you can understand music that no one else can hear, you can clearly listen and understand others with a clear mind. And so when you can focus back, like even after an argument, you can look back in a situation and be like, all right, I messed up. My part was all off. And then you can reflect and be like, all right. Because now they're all right down there. I can hear them down. I don't hear them down there, but I hear them. But they're doing their thing. And I'm talking on my radio show right now with you. It sounds like it's all right down there. But right now, I'm talking to you on my radio show. And right now, we're talking about different things. It sounds like it's all chill. And it sounds like everything's fine. But now, it's like it seems like the atmosphere feels better. We're talking about other things. It seems like things are going well down there. And it sounds like I'm talking with you. We're talking about the subject of how do we reflect on helping others when differences of opinion can help and reflecting how well we work within each other. Because the way I sold out this, kind of like advertised this show today, I advertised this show kind of aggressively, like make people want to listen, kind of, I kind of did that. The way I kind of advertised the show, I kind of did that today. I did something, saying something about ugliness or something. I don't remember how I did it. Yeah, I said it. I advertised the show kind of like this. I said, we will see how well peeps will like when the mirror gets turned on themselves tonight. I have heard it said, never fight an ugly person, but when they have nothing to lose. But what do you do when somebody let's somebody let's say like myself knows that when they are ugly and they have nothing to lose, and it goes on from there. It's like it goes on from there. You have to read it from there. It's like it stops from that point. But yeah. But it's like basically it points out the aggressive point, because the show's called The Reckoning tonight. Because what I'm trying to do is reckon with people within themselves, their personal within, and how well their within selves stops them from advancing to relationships with others. Why can't a Christian get past visiting and talking with a Muslim past a gas station where a Muslim might work? Or why can't a Jewish person stop fighting with other... Why can't it stop? Why do we keep spoon-feeding ourselves the GMO propaganda from the screens on the TVs and everywhere in the newspapers? Why? We can. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. We can choose if we just want to love our neighbor as ourselves. Even there's others that don't believe in that at all. If we can just choose for ourselves to love our neighbor as ourselves, if we love ourselves, we can stop our stuff with others. Even if there's no belief in God and others at all, they can just choose if they want to. If they want to. And we can just stop this mess. We don't have to. It's a matter of wanting to. Do you want to stop? And if the answer is yes, then it's yes. But if it's no, it's no. But if stuff manifests in your life, don't blame anyone else for the karma that goes on in your life. Just don't. It's your fault. It's your fault then. If crap manifests in your life, regardless of what you believe, karma, no God, atheism, non-atheism, and whatever, agnosticism, I don't care what you don't or do not or whatever believe. If stuff stops or not stops or does stop in your life, and you can't do this because you want drama, because you start it or somehow manifest it in your life, scheming, plotting, whatever, plotting destruction of the human race, whatever you do, if it starts because you begin it, don't blame others, blame yourself. It all depends on you. It's it. I don't care if you have a religious preference or not. And that's where it begins, right there. I don't care what your politics is, if you're an anarchist, if you're a liberal, if you're a Republican, if you're Russian, if you're religious. I don't care what your tongue slurs or not, if you're Babylon or what, or if you're a moron. I don't care what your stats are in life. It's up to you to decide what you want in your relationships and your people and how you conduct yourself. It's really all it boils down to. I had to think about that a lot tonight. And what did I do? I get in a freaking argument with my mom and my roommate, and that's how I start this whole conversation. I was an idiot just to start this. Yeah, what a way to hit something on my head. Well, hey, it
I
helped.
don't
It actually
didn't
helped.
know.
Actually, an argument with my mom in my room actually helped me out to have this conversation with you. All I need is a Bob Seger song. And I'm having a conversation with Paige Roberts. Turn the page.
But that's true though. It doesn't matter who we are. I mean, it does matter who we are, but I'm just saying, whatever you believe, I mean, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't pay to be dirty or ugly to somebody,
No.
because of the fact.
That's right. That's right. No doubt. Whew. Well, if you don't mind, you mind if I go for if I play a quick song break real quick?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna play a quick song, and I'm just gonna go to break real quick because I'm just gonna grab some iced tea, and you can grab a quick whatever you got, and I'm just gonna play Diesel Automatic real quick. War on drugs is a war on whatever. I know this song. I know this is a Diesel Automatic song. I'll just play this one, and I'm just gonna play it. We're not gonna play this. Here we go.
Free all my people. Free my people. Free all my people. Let them go. Tell the lawyers and the courts and the judge that the war on drugs is a war on us. It's power to the people, destruction to the system. Free all of the drug offenders that are stuck in prison. The drug war is nothing but a corporate war for profit. And every drug arrest is money in somebody's pocket. The rich get richer at the expense of the rest of us. Conflict of interest, cops profit by arresting us. When they imprison you for drugs, the only victims you, they say it's for your well-being, but that simply isn't true. The drug wars are business, prison is an institute of wage slavery for the companies who getting loot by locking up non-violent individuals. Drug offenders of any kind are not criminals. They never lock us up and see us educated, cause knowledge is power and slavery brings in the payment. So schools shutting down, prisons being built up. The drug wars making sure the prisons stay filled up. Companies who profit from it lobby for the drug war. It's nothing but business, the government's the biggest drug lord. Drug laws are unjust, classist and racist. Slavery was never abolished, it changed faces. From plantations with slaves cotton picking, now it's corporations profiting on people locked in prison. They targeted and the race for profit, they incarcerate people. There's no justice cause the system is a marketplace. The term correctional facility is a joke. If the inmates were corrected, then the system would be broke. If the system went broke, then the system would collapse. Drug offenders aren't criminals, the victims of attack. They are prisoners of war for the profit of corporations and the government who forces laws upon the population. So tell the lawyers and the courts and the judge that the war on drugs is a war on us. It has been a hoax since before Richard Nixon. The system is broke, yet they claim it don't need fixing. Isn't it obvious? Big corporate lobbyists created the drug war cause that's what all the profit is. Now we suffering while these bloodsuckers in the government bringing all of the drugs, guns, and money in. And they punishing first-time felons for using them for selling with a draconian sentence. Non-violent offenders shouldn't have to do a day locked away in a prison cell for someone else's pay. This is what I say. It's time we put an end to this. War against the people and it's all a prison exodus. Free my people, free all my people. Free my people, free all my people. Let them go. Tell the lawyers and the courts and the judge that the war on drugs is a war on us. The war on drugs is something that negatively impacts everyone within society in one way or another, whether they're conscious of it or not. It's not just the users and the dealers and their families and people locked up that are affected by it negatively. It's everyone. Whether it's the taxpayers whose money is going into this black hole of a failed war on drugs, or it's people who are affected by everyday violence and crime that is a result of the war on drugs. This is actual factual information. It's a conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory. It's a corporate conspiracy and it's backed by our government. I highly urge everyone to look into the issue on their own. You see the statistics and the facts presented in this video. I've included links in the information section below for you to do more research on your own. In today's 420, so all you weed smokers, don't just talk about how much you smoke and how good you smoke. That's meaningless. Instead, talk about marijuana's positive aspects. Talk about the medicinal purposes of it. Talk about hemp, industrial hemp, and how it could change the world and save our planet. Talk about our inherent freedom and our inherent liberty as people to do as we please with our minds and our bodies without the government telling us that we can or we cannot. Talk about ending this injustice known as the war on drugs. Let's go, y'all. Get big on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Diesel Automatic, War on Drugs. And we have Paige Roberts. Are we on now?
We are on, Ian.
All right, let's get this on.
How you doing?
All right, tell me what you think about tonight. What do you think about the following about tonight?
What now?
What do you think about about everything tonight? About everything that was, I did most of the talking, so I got to let you say something.
You gonna let me say something?
I'm sorry about
All right.
babbling on in Babylon.
Well, like I said today, there will always be people that try to discredit, or we have our critics, and they're always going to be there talking, not good about us in general. But you have to go on. I go on every day living my life the way that I think I should live it, and I try not to judge people. But I'm not perfect either, Ian. I mean, I have in the past done things that I wasn't so satisfied with in that regards, and I'm just not. But we're not perfect, just like I said. We're not perfect. But I try to go back and fix things, just like you and I were talking about earlier about with Kyler and everything. But there's only a certain amount that you can dish out, or that they dish out that you can take. And so, the thing is just I just go by the way I am, and I can't please everybody. You can't please everybody, and you're not going to be able to please everybody. And so, I don't know what you would do in that regards except for be yourself, and either people will like you or they won't like you, and you are going to have both.
Oh yeah, you are.
What we're doing,
And you know what, Paige? That's about the best thing that was probably said all night. You are gonna have both. The only thing you're not gonna have both of is, you're not gonna have the best of everything, and that's probably about the both of everything you're not gonna have is the best of everything. What the best of you can have is the very thing that people can't find the best in, and that's simplicity. Simplicity seems to be the hardest thing for people to accept. And that's one thing I think Lee and I touched on very much, is the simple things are the hardest things. Because that's the thing I think people touch on
yeah,
within.
but it's not hard to respect someone, though, Ian. It's not hard to respect somebody. I mean, just like I'm talking to you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's respect.
Yeah.
So,
And the sad part of that is, it's like simplicity has turned into it sounds too good to be true. But yet, but the sounds too good to be true is really like the...
You think it is. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think of that as too good to be true, like simplicity. Simplicity sounds to me like a rich, quick thing over the phone. I hear those things. I hear Gardner Reading all over that. I like the day before I made a joke on an ad for a show I was going to do today, which I'm postponing for the following week, right? Like the fake news thing I was going to do today, I'm postponing for next week. But then the following day, which was Sunday, I made a joke about Rich White, something about that. The next day, I get a prank call. It wasn't a prank call. It was actually a get-rich-quick scheme. That morning, I laughed my ass off I'm sorry. I laughed the next morning. It's like, I can't believe this happened today. The next morning, after I called, I made a joke.
All days, right?
It's like the night before, I said Rich White something on a video I put on Facebook, and then the next morning, Sunday morning, I got a laugh from heaven. It's like, I got some get rich, press number 2, and you'll never hear from me again. I said, flush! I saved that message, and I put it on that same video from the phone, From the next morning, I put it right on the video. You'll see it on my Facebook. I put it right on there. A get-rich-quick scheme, and I put it right on there for another video for that Sunday. I couldn't resist. I didn't even point it. I didn't even point it out there. I let someone else catch it. The night before, I said get Rich White something, and the next day, Sunday, There it was, manna from heaven. I couldn't resist. I couldn't pull myself together. I laughed my butt off. I woke my neighbor up. I mean, I'm like, this did not just happen. This was like red pill, blue pill, purple pill, Latuda. Latuda, like an ad. I was like, oh no, Pac-Man did not just do this to me. This was funny,
Oh,
like a
well,
genie from a bottle. It was funny. And I made a statement about get rich quick schemes from rich white dudes the night before Saturday night on the Sabbath. Oh man, it's like I can't believe this. It was too funny. It would just happen this past weekend before I even had the show with you, and before I don't even think I decided to change the format for fake news for this next Tuesday because I was doing this today. It was just like, oh my goodness, wow. I
well,
laughed
maybe
so.
that, maybe that person will see your show, see your live video.
I don't know. I don't even want to speculate. It was just too funny. So I said, "Thank you, God." I kept pressing buttons on that phone. I said, "Let's see this." I said, "Replay." I said, "Let's." I kept treating it like a remote control on TV. I said, "Let's see this again. Let's see that again." I mean, my neighbor downstairs had to have heard me. I'm pressing buttons on the phone, and I'll keep listening to this. My dog's sleeping right next to me, and I'm laughing, pressing buttons, and I just took my meds, and I can't even contain myself. I'm treating this phone like a joystick on Atari, and I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, I can't believe this has just happened. And I'm delirious for Jesus. I feel like I just won $1 million, and I'm just making fun of whoever did this to me. And it happened right there. It's still, I think it's still on the inbox. It's funny. You know, I think just to make sure, I'm going to check the voicemail after you get off the phone just to see if it's still there. I might just put it on speaker. I don't even know. I'm going to check. I just might do that.
I should. I get calls like that too.
Oh, man.
I hadn't ever thought of recording them, but if only they knew.
Wow. Yeah, that's something. So, other than that, what is there anything you would like to say about how you feel about like anything like on the subject of how does it make you feel when someone puts a double standard on you? Like how does it like when people like take advantage of you or put a double standard on you when you don't give them what they want, or when people like put too much on you? How does that overall make you feel as a person? Like when they say, like, say for example, you're a Christian, right? Like you're a Christian, you're supposed to be kind. Like let's say, just throw out the Hebrew stuff from the Old Testament: merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abounding in mercy and truth. Mercy, the thought, forgiveness for wickedness, rebellion, and sin. The Hebrew blessings that God is, that's what a Christian's supposed to be, even in the Old Testament as in the New. When they say you're not doing what God is, and they're using these things to deliberately take advantage of you, how does it make you feel when these things are used against you by people that kind of know the word and got defected? When they do these things to you, how do you use wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, being wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, and effective, not combative Christianity, but loving Christianity, while being a person of caring interest at the same time, to lift up these people even when they won't be lifted back? How do you handle that?
Well,
as a person,
I am, and what God tells me to do is that there are going to be people like that, and basically what I do, and it's not all the time, but I'll listen. I will listen, and it's okay, because everybody has an opinion, and I'm one also that has an opinion, but I take it with a grain of salt.
So, in all else fails, I guess the most proper term you could use is case by case, right? Each individual to their own, right?
Stepping stones.
Well,
stepping stones is what they are. But, no. When somebody is mean or demeaning, like what we have been discussing, sometimes you do have to cut it off, but
yeah,
it wasn't meant to be there. So, you do have to cut it out and just either move on. Now, if they come back to it, I might would say something to the fact that that's not the way to do things. But they're not always going to listen to what you say.
And you know what? It's when you try to be a listener and others won't listen. That's when the hardest part of that is. Because they're the ones that will gossip. And when you're called not to gossip, according to the word, that's when the challenge begins. Because you're trying to be merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abounding, and all that comes on upon you. And that's when temptation flows. Because then when your flesh wants to come out, you want to hit them, you want to crown them. You want to crown them really bad. Because that's when the flesh wants to come back again, right?
Right.
Because then you're really being tested, because then you don't know if you want to give this brother or sister a hug, or you want to punch him out.
Well, see, I'm a big fan of praying, and that's usually what I do, and I pray about it, and I leave it, and I'm like, it'll usually either take care of itself, or, that's what I do most of the time, is I just leave it alone, and it takes care of itself.
But, can I ask you?
Don't let people just...
Yeah.
Do you any old way. I mean, you don't want somebody to step all over you.
Oh, not push you over. Yeah, I gotta admit, sometimes you want to Kyle him in a Davenport, right?
Right. That's the truth. That's the thing there, But I could have either kept on getting what he dished out, or I could say, I don't have to take that, and so you go in the other direction. So there's some people that won't.
That's why he didn't get 3 chances, right? Oh, good thing there was no 70 times 7 for him.
and then there's the little thing called the block button on Facebook. So.
Oh, thank goodness there was no DEFCON 5, right?
Right. I don't know who came up with that button, but
I don't know, man. I heard that on X-Men.
That's a divided device too, isn't it?
I don't know. I saw that in a cartoon. Right? Never mind.
I think we ought to all be made to, what was the word? Respect.
Yes.
But some people aren't brought up in that sense of and how to respect someone.
That is very true. Sometimes, but there are some testimonies of some of the greatest people out there in the faith that didn't really come up came up in the worst of circumstances ever. But there are some people that walk, talk, and crap in the worst of circumstances that I can't even define. I never lived through them, but churches were started, and people became out in the greatest of ways, out of deliverance of ways, and they're out there now, and even overseas. So there has been some successes in the kingdom. It's just how bad you want it. It has happened. You just don't hear about it, because what do we hear about on TV? It's not just fake news, it's bad news.
Well, if somebody ever tries to come at you like that or does anything like that to you, just tell them you'll pray for them. That usually stops them right there.
Well, sometimes you gotta also be careful when saying you'll pray for them, because there are some people out there that, and I can only speak up for this from my personal experiences, because there were moments in my life when I heard people say, "When I'll pray for you," and I only know this from personal experiences in my life. When I heard "I'll pray for you," that I am not the only one that's alone in this. That usually I interpreted that as I don't want to get involved, and there are a large majority of people that interpret that phrase in that way, and it is so sad, because it doesn't help them, and it doesn't mean it in that way like it should, and it's like the worst psychological bang. Like, it's not meant the way it sounds, and it hurts the kingdom just by the people that want the right intention to be said in the way it's meant to be said, and it does the devastation role, and it's not meant to. What's meant to be said in the right of all righteous ways does not get interpreted that way, and confusion, and God is not the author of confusion, I know, but of peace. And it doesn't do what it's supposed to do to people. It has not the same impact.
But with the things that you and I do, I know we have went around in circles with everybody and talking about the division of everything, division of state, division of the people, and division of everything else. being so divided. I mean, you know, well, it doesn't have to be that way.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up in the next 15 minutes. You know, it's 9:45. You know, I guess I'll wrap this up now. Do you have anything, a final word you want to give? You want to plug any shows or anything?
I want to thank you for letting me come on your show, and I know you're going to be, or should we even say something about that? Or we'll just keep that a secret.
No, just go ahead and say it. I don't care. I'd love you to tell me.
Ian's going to be on my show Thursdays, and so that'll be a good show, too. And
yes.
you know.
Which time would you like me on? I'll come on Thursday evening. What time do you want me on?
No, we're going to go 7 to 8 o'clock on Thursday evening.
7 to 8 o'clock, Easy ST. E for Attorney will be on with Paige Roberts, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. So, then, you know, Ian, let me say one other thing. If people out there have troubles in their lifestyle like that, most people just take it one day at a time. And I know people have a hard time in thinking before they do things, and I'm guilty of that too. But, you know, just take it one day at a time, and don't be mean to people.
And you know, that simplicity is the key, and the keys are the best way to get into the right ways in life. And you know what? There's an old Native American proverb out there: possibility and impossibility are states of mind. And you know what? In the right mind, there is always the possible. Paige Roberts, thank you very much for your presence here tonight, and I look forward to Thursday night with you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for a very brief e-psych.
All right, thanks, Ian.
Thank you very much. Turn the page, y'all.
All right.
And now I'm going to hit you up with some music. I'm going to play Silent Weapon with Renegade Smith.
Free my people, free all my people, let them go. Free my people, free all my people, let them go. Tell the lawyers and the courts and the judge that the war on drugs is a war on us. It's power to the people, destruction to the system. Free all of the drug offenders and
that's the wrong one. Oh, my bad. Wrong one.
And every drug arrest is money in somebody's pocket.
Wrong one. Sorry. Wrong one. My bad. Still new at this. Sorry.
What it has to do with is a new world order agenda. With today's sophisticated mind control technology, they have the ability to strip us of our own thoughts. We can no longer depend on having a situation where our mind and our thoughts are our own. A policy of mass public mind control. Weapons of mass destruction. I am not letting my country be ruled by a dictator. I'm not letting him take my guns. Only going to be thinking what they are programming. The simplest method of securing a silent weapon and gaining control of the public.
Make no mistake, evil does exist in the world.
Is to keep the public undisciplined and ignorant of basic system principles on one hand, while keeping them confused, disorganized, and distracted with matters of no real importance on the other. Disengaging their minds, sabotaging their mental activities,
engaging their emotions, increasing their self-indulgence.
When I was under mind control, before I was rescued, and my mind and my memory restored, I was totally robotic. I had no ability to think for myself. I had no ability to question or to reason. I could only do exactly what I was told to do. And he said at that time that he believed the only way to world peace is to mind control of the masses.
Citizens methods of securing a silent weapon and gaining control of the public. The silent weapon. The silent weapon.
Without free thought, there's no free will.
The silent weapon.
And just say it in a way that you could understand. So that we can begin as a nation to put an end to what has been covered up. Start waking up to the reality of what I've been involved with. The horror that I left that I didn't believe.
Silent weapon. The silent weapon. Silent weapon. Silent weapon.
Control it. Control it.
They have to go to the griffin of our own thoughts.
Control it.
The silent weapon.
new messages. All message played back days after that. This message will absolutely blow your mind. So press 1 right now if you want to learn how to put $10,000 or more in your pocket in the next 10 to 14 days. I guarantee you have never seen anything like this before. So press 1 now to get the details, or press 2 and I guarantee you'll never hear from me again.
Yeah, I ain't never seen it because it's bullshit, too. Well, show's over. I'll never see it because it's never going to be in my wallet. And 2, you're full of it, Lucy. You didn't do it right. Bye.